Good evening and salutations, everybody. Welcome to another wonderful Rambletech with my co-host Lee and Jeff.
Heyo!
Well, Lee, what do you have to say about today? We had another wonderful day as we are finishing up week 5 in our first season, or in our second season now.
Well, I got to say, we're halfway through. I'm super excited. I got my butt kicked on Sunday, but that's all right. I had fun.
What else is new?
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. Aaron played a great game. Apparently, I'm going to get a crow pie to eat next Sunday when I play, so I can eat crow. Though the Battle of Crows went really well. Actually, I was able to pull back from a really early loss of my salamander in the second round to a gauze rifle shot to the head. So I was able to pull it back and almost make it out of the tie game. But Aaron played really well. Way to go, man.
So what was the final score then?
4-2.
Almost a tied game, huh?
Yep. We were almost out of time. If I had taken out his archer before he'd taken out my two last mechs, it would have been a tie. So
That is how killing the other guy first works.
yes. See, I knew if I explained it simply enough, you'd get it.
Oof.
That pretty much should sum up Lee's season so far. Jeff, how's your season been going?
It would probably be going a lot better if I could hit better, but with the less than average hitting, I've still been managing to pull out wins. And one tie.
That's not so bad then.
But they've all been like low kill count matches for the way things have been going. But actually today was my first 4 kill one. Or not today, I should say Sunday was my first 4 kill.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, last season was pretty similar like that, wasn't it? Jeff, you won a lot of games, but your kill count wasn't overly high?
It was certainly higher than it was this year, that's for sure.
All right, Jeff, anything that stands out so far this season for you?
It's nice to see so many new players up at the top of the leaderboard. That's for sure.
Yeah, I would say, top 1 and 2 is Calvin and Max, both players that are brand new to the league this season.
Yep.
Yeah, I know Galen is close to that top 5 as well, if he's not in the top 5. So, yeah, and last season we had quite a few new players, either top, middle of the pack, or at the very top, like Steven. So, yeah, it's actually been really good. Competition has been fantastic. Like, the players are really, really on the ball. And the people who are really new to competitive play or Battletech in general, they're picking things up really quickly.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice season. I mean, even Gary's tearing it up off of a 4-win streak, and he came in second last season.
Yeah, we'll have to crush his spirits soon. I think he has to play some of us, doesn't he?
I can triple check that.
Brett's already jinxed his season now by saying that.
No, he's going to do great. I'm quite sure he'll be in the A-side playoffs, and I'll let you know how that goes because I'll be in B-side watching you guys.
So no, Gary is looking at Donru Tiger Slayers, Doom Buds, Fallen Angels, Periphery Pirates, Petulant Perry's Periphery Pirates, and then Abishai's. So he doesn't actually see any of us this season.
But he does see some top players. They're right at the very end. So it's going to be, we're going to see how well he does, and hopefully he can knock some of those guys, because he's a veteran now, second season. Hopefully he can help represent the veterans.
No excuse.
Oh, there's always excuses.
Yes, but they're like, those things that everybody has.
Yeah.
They smell bad and nobody wants to hear it.
6-sided dice. That's everyone's excuse. Stupid 6. If I could roll a D20, I'd probably have a better chance of hitting on 5s.
The way my season's been going, I'd be rolling a lot of 1s.
So, Brett, what have you? How is your season going, and what have you noticed from this season?
Well, other than the fact that I ran into Jeff and I decided to fall down and kill my own mech, it's been pretty smooth sailing so far.
You mean the Sachowski maneuver?
Yes, the patented Sachowski maneuver. Fall down, blow up your ammo.
Which you've
Critical.
almost done every single game.
I have almost done it almost every single game now.
And with an Atlas too, you think that thing would be a little more survivable.
The Atlas doesn't succeed in piloting checks. It enters water, it makes it. If it has to walk down a hill backwards, it makes it. If it has to stand up after getting shot for 21 points of damage, it falls down every time.
No, it's not going to work out so well then.
Unless he takes like 80 or 100 points, and then he just leans into it and he just takes it and he succeeds then.
I gotcha.
But
I'd
yeah,
love to
it's
see what
been
my
nice.
salamander can do. He keeps dying so damn early. I don't know what my salamander is actually capable of.
Dying, apparently.
Yeah, he's good at it.
This is one of the potentially patented too many eggs in one basket, eh?
Well, it's not just that. It's just the mech seems to draw a lot of fire. Everyone's like, oh my goodness, it's got 3 LRM-15s. Yeah, but there's other mechs out there with Gauss rifles and PPCs and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
but you're not fielding them.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a cheesy fielding a bunch of Gauss rifles. I absolutely understand why other people do it. I
have yet to get a headshot with a ghost rifle, so I don't see how they're cheesy.
15 points of damage at 22 hexes. That's cheesy.
You got a hit with it, though.
If you look at the people at the top of the leaderboard, almost all of them have something with 1 or 2 Gauss rifles. And there's a reason why. They're great guns. But I still stand by my statement before, they're broken.
I did last season without a single Gauss rifle.
Yeah, you came in second.
Mm-hmm.
Against a guy with no Gauss rifles, but he did have out of count 20s.
Yeah, there you go.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff. Isn't one of the mechs with the highest kill counts the King Crab with no Gauss rifles?
No. I don't think it is anymore, actually.
No, Max is, I think it's Max's, whatever his Sunder, isn't it?
That has a ghost rifle, though.
No, I know that. That's why I said I think the top kill mech is that Sunder with a pair of Gauss rifles.
I think I heard Galen say something that his gunslinger has 7
Gauss rifles.
kills.
Yep, but Gauss rifles.
I don't know anything that has 7 Gauss rifles.
No, I know that.
Now, these aren't 100% up to date, but the last count I had was the War Club's Night Sky and Devastator both have 6 kills each.
The 50-gun Night Sky?
Yep.
Oh, Night Sky. Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, that fast little 696 jumper with the clan large pulse.
Yep.
They got to be getting like ammo kills on that. No way a 50-tonner has that many kills.
It's just a lot of things stand in front of it, scaring people, and it just gets behind them and is just shooting them in the back, or finishing, or he's leaving it to finish them off.
Last count I had, your Atlas has like 6 kills, Brett.
Yeah, it's up there.
Last count, Galen's Gunslinger had 7 kills. Yeah, those are really the high number ones. Aaron's Nightstar has 5 kills. The King Crab you were talking for Jeff with his Kel's Keshik has 4, but I think that's incorrect right now.
It started off real strong, but I think it's been dropping the ball since then.
Yeah, not since...
Still getting the wins, though. So the rest of his lance must be bringing up the slack.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and he's got an avatar with 2 Gauss rifles.
Yeah, that's true. I know my Cerberus has, after this last match, goes from 5 kills to 8 kills.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is those kills weren't done with the ghost rifles. They were done with
What's
the
your medium pulses that half of them hit?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're creating the damage with the Gauss rifles, right? So
no, this was actually, I think 2 of the kills were I didn't even fire the ghost rifles.
At all. At the mech, at all. It never got hit by a Gauss rifle. Even once?
Maybe once or twice, but that's like 3 or 4 mechs shooting at it also, so...
I mean, his Gauss rifle shooting at mechs just throws 7 into it, like Heather's Marauder, and it keeps living.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. I hit everything but what I need to actually hit.
So, but that's... Either way, that's fantastic to see that these guys are playing so well, getting the kills, and really melding into the community so seamlessly. I don't really see any friction between the players. Like, everybody's just getting along and having fun.
Yeah, I think the only friction is between us.
Yeah, it's all manufactured. Like, we're purposely doing it. Aaron's and my online animosity is pure fluff. We had a great time on Sunday visiting, talking. Right, his son was right in there talking about how his dad had killed my salamander second round, and after about 8 rounds, I was like, yeah, I got it. He died. It's ancient history at this point. So, but it's been amazing. Like, it's so great to have, and then to have the kids there too. Like my daughter and Aaron's 2 kids and stuff like that. It's so amazing to have the kids there and interested in what we're doing too.
Yeah, instead of when mine was that age, he was like, "Are you done yet, Dad? Can we go home? Are you done? I've eaten all my snacks. I've played my games."
Yep.
Yeah. And now he's playing in the league.
Yep.
And now he's playing in the league.
Aaron's boy would be so mad if his dad finished early and wanted to go home. So I know we were asked a couple of questions as talking points for Rambletech tonight, and we've obviously picked the one with how the season's going. One of the ones that I thought really interesting is there a mech you would have switched out or chosen differently if you had a chance? I know I'm skipping to what we were talking about before, but I'm just this one kind of stuck in my head and I was interested in it.
I know I would really have loved to start with a Menchen instead of the Hunchback, but it just wouldn't fit in the BV. And now that I've got the Hunchback, I'm keeping it rather than switching it out. I really wanted to play with a Menchen this year, though.
Jeff?
You know, if anything, maybe I would have switched the Grasshopper out for something else, but I don't really think
that's sacrilege. So. What's wrong with the Grasshopper? That's like your favorite mech.
Oh, no, it's not like my favorite mech. No. Grasshopper's a good mech. It's certainly not my favorite.
Okay.
No, I don't know. It's fine. Does exactly what I need it to do.
It's just solid, right? It's not standout. It's really reliable and solid.
Exactly.
Yeah. And strangely for me, my crab is been, you would think it's got 2 ER PPCs, an ER medium laser, an ER small, Guardian ECM, hooked up to the C3I system right away. But even with 2 PPCs, do you think that's a pretty solid machine? It's got the long-range firepower of a Warhammer or a Marauder.
It's definitely a discount Warhammer.
Yeah, it's just not doing what I thought it was going to do. I had a couple of other options in the middleweight class. I could have gone with like a Kentaro that was linked to the C3, but it didn't jump. Neither does the Crab. And there's a couple other options, but I was like, no, the 2 PPCs, they're just solid, steady weapons, and it's just been underperforming all season so far. The only person who's actually shown any concern about it has been Aaron. Everyone else is kind of like, yeah, whatever. But how do you ignore 2 PPCs? But that's what they do.
You have to be able to hit with them.
They might as well just not bother with any of my mechs then, because none of them seem to be able to hit. Once again,
maybe that crab needs, what is it? Failsafe, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but it's already got heat issues. It's already gaining 2 heat every time it fires both of them. So adding another 4 on top of that could be a bit of an issue.
Find some trees to stand in, take your 6 heat.
True. The other issue I've been having with it has been I can't change anything on it. Right? I looked at it and I'm like, okay, well, other than taking engineering, which I've already done, can't really upgrade anything on it to gain much. It's got almost maxed amount of tonnage. Its critical spots are pretty much taken up. There's not a lot I can do with it. So
yeah, because doesn't it have both Endo and Pharaoh?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe reassign. Oh no, I just did skill spends on it. So yeah, no, I think it is what it is. But yeah, it's just
technician drop the medium laser for another heatsink.
Yeah, but the ER medium is a good cooldown weapon, right? I don't know. I'm not quite sure what I want to do with it, and I guess I could still reassign it. It's just the skill of technician would be wasted then. Yeah. Oh, actually, it's not even Sunday yet, so I could actually just send an email saying I want to change my skill spend. But
yeah, cutoff is not out.
Yeah, that's true. I might have to look at it. I'm not sure. But yeah, my crab has just been underperforming. My rate's fine, especially when I do the skill spend that I plan on doing on it. So we'll just have to see.
All right. Administration wise, Jeff, is there anything that stands out in your mind that we might want to swap for next season and do a little bit differently?
Off the top of my head right now, nothing currently that we're doing in the league. I think the grand melee we do at the start of league for new players and that could be changed slightly.
All right. Any ideas towards that?
I would like to see like a true skill contest where it's everybody pilots the exact same mech. And then it comes down to your dice and tactics. Is everybody's on an equal playing field? I think that would be the best way to do it.
26 Urbies on 4 maps.
No.
No.
You should never be able to see 26 urban mechs.
Hey, people are buying them in droves, right?
And I mean, if you were going to do that, it would be on one map.
No. Massive map. Let's play for 2 days. That's not a bad idea, though.
You want to wait a day and a half before they actually get in range?
No, I'm taking the one with the arrow 4. What are you talking about? Everybody's in range. I gotta say, I don't disagree with that idea, Jeff. It's not bad. Like, where we all run the same mech, so we don't have anybody who's slightly more long range or short range or whatever than anyone else. That's an interesting idea.
Yeah, I think it just puts everybody on the exact same playing field, right? Everybody's on the exact same skill curve, or not skill curve, but everybody's the exact same mech, so it all comes down to skill and dice, really, in the end.
Yeah.
All right. So what mech do we have access to that, as a group, we probably have 20 of?
Rifleman. I got
Wolverines.
A lot. I got like 6.
Yeah, actually, Wolverines.
Yeah,
I think I got like 11 myself.
I was gonna say Brett's probably got 11 of them themselves.
Yeah, and I know I've got a couple. So yeah, we could probably come up with that many Wolverines, and they're fast enough, and most of them have decent enough firepower. So we just pick a variant that we like and use that.
Everybody gets 7Ks. It's season 1 all over again.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. It definitely would make it very level, very even.
Wide open playing field, nothing on it to hide in.
Just all over to the
mass carnage.
No. What we do is we flip them all over to the gray side of the old maps, and it's all ashball.
Yeah, planet bowling ball.
Yeah.
Nothing on it except concrete.
Yeah, and every time you run and turn, you've got a PSR.
Oh, and low gravity just to make it extra interesting.
Half gravity, double speed, but as soon as you go 6, your legs rip off.
All right, so we talked about it a little bit before. Lee, how are you feeling about the specialty maps, the custom maps?
I really like them, but I'm like I said before, I'm terrified of them. And with the way my season's going, the last thing I want to do is screw myself even more by picking the wrong map. I've seen a couple of them being played. You played them on the weekend as a fun game against JP, and I know John played the Dust Storm against Max.
Dust Storm is one of the more forgiving ones, because all it is
short
max
range.
range is 15 hexes.
Yeah, and then yours was Swamp, right? So you get stuck.
Yeah, it had bogged down rules. It had lots of water. It still had some trees, but it was definitely way, way better for him than it was for me.
I'd play on them, absolutely. I think I might. I definitely would for fun games after season if I get knocked out of the playoffs early or something like that. I'd try them just to test them out.
What about making them for playoff max?
Ooh, no. I don't think anybody would want to lose out on their playoff opportunity because the wrong map got pulled. I could see using just the regular maps and letting people draw on them, because really it doesn't matter if everybody's playing on the same map, as long as not everybody has to be playing on the same map, simply because some people's skills are a little bit different. And should we really be hosing the guys that bought bribery?
Yes.
Or me, if I take
we're not getting bribed.
Well, if I take the Comstar skill where I get to choose the map, or re-roll. Well, if we're not re-rolling, that kind of
roll 2, pick the one that you want.
Yeah, but if we're not doing that for playoffs, then I'm getting it's a 3-point skill. There's no point in me buying it, right? Because if I do make the playoffs, it's a wasted 3 points.
Well, that's what everybody said about bribery for last season, because playoff round 1 was everybody was playing on the same map.
Yep. So, though, I guess you still can decide which side is more beneficial to you with bribery. Yeah, no, that's. I like the maps. I don't think the playoffs is the best time to kind of get people to start playing on them. But I would like to see them get played more, and I might actually pull at least one this season. I have not been able to get my feet underneath myself where I feel confident even with any map, let alone a specialty map.
So your next opponents coming up is Tin Man's,
Yep.
Lords of the Underworld, Odin Storm Chasers, Donru Tiger Slayers, and then Doom Buds.
Yeah, other than Alex, I get to break in new players. It's gonna be good.
I kind of think that you and Alex should play on a custom.
I was just thinking
then
that
it's
too.
C3 on C3.
Yeah, C3I versus C3I on a interesting weather map. That would be kind of cool.
That would be interesting, especially if they pull the map, Brett, that hinders missiles.
And it's not like one of you is missile specialist and the other one is not, because you both have some reliance on LRMs this year.
Yeah, that would be brutal to have that happen. Yeah, I'd do that if Alex wanted to do that. I'd jump in on a custom map for them, especially last game of the season. I'd do that. So, Brett, you were talking about admin stuff there earlier. What would you wanna? What kind of comments you have on this season?
I think the first thing that I was thinking of today, I want to instigate like a score sheet, either for next season. I think.
Okay. Something that has to be filled out and submitted.
Basically, you get your mechs on it, who they were killed by, what turn they were killed in, and how they died, as well as an actual official score.
Yep. Yeah, I think that'd be better than marking them on the mech sheets themselves. For one thing, it would cut down on the number of sheets that Jeff has to go through.
Yeah.
Well, in theory, we're still supposed to be going through to verify that the actual kills are accurate. Like yesterday we had one game that was reported originally as a 2-0, and it was actually a 2-1.
Yeah, and that was
one of the mechs was actually a technical kill.
Yeah, that's just because of the not quite understanding what constituted a technical kill or not. And it's a good thing that happened. But really, there's no way we're going to go over everybody's mech sheets after the fact, especially before recording Rambletech or Uncivil Discourse that night.
Well, that's why we delegated it.
All right, Jeff. Good luck.
I'm not going through every map.
Especially with everybody's handwriting, right? The one thing that I would really like to see change, though, Brett, I really think we should. I really like the idea of the scoring sheet, as well as maybe a mech, the engineering skills actually having a submission sheet for that as well. It might cut down a little bit of the confusion. But on the admin side, the one thing I noticed that has been going on, it's now 5 weeks in, I'd like to see changed a little bit, is more communication with the admin on game day. Make sure you don't just get up and leave at the end of the game. Talk to the admin and let us know what the score was. Let us know how it went. For one thing, we're recording that night, or we're going to be recording in a week. We don't even know what's happened in some games, especially with 11 games going on at once. Sometimes we just get kind of lost in our own headspace. We need to be talking to people, and I know a few people who, when they're done, they're in a hurry to get onto the road and get home. But we
interrupt our games.
Yeah, communicate.
Come over, spend 5 minutes, and give us a breakdown of what happened and how it went, and let us know for sure that yes, we are aware of what the score was. Yes, this is what it happened. Hand in your sheets so that we can verify and take 30 seconds to be like, this mech looks like it was supposed to be a kill. Yep. Is it recorded as a kill?
Yeah, because we had quite the debate about that on Sunday about whether or not we were going to actually have to make them replay their game, because one group left too early and took their mech sheets with them. We need the sheets back too. Jeff needs them. We need them. So you got to turn that stuff in. Yeah,
it boils down to we had one game that was not reported, or if it was reported, whoever it was reported to didn't hear it, and no sheets handed in, so we didn't have any way to verify it ourselves.
Yeah,
and then we're like, new issue. How do we deal with this?
Yeah, and that's one thing I've noticed over the past 2 seasons is the new issues just pop out of nowhere. It's like no warning. We're not going in going, well, I bet you we're going to have a problem with this situation.
Let's cover this in the packet beforehand so that when it comes up.
Yeah, and all of a sudden we're like, I didn't even know that could happen. So, yeah, it's just
fun little minor things, right?
Yeah. There's nothing huge. There hasn't been any massive problems. It's been mostly just little admin quirks that we improve with every season.
Okay, so speaking of, we've had a lot of people say, I want to volunteer and I'm willing to help out. Lee, what's the number one thing that you could use help with?
Pictures of the games. If I have to get up every two turns and take photographs of everybody's games, I'm not focusing on my game at all. That's no blame on my win-loss record. That's all my own gameplay that's the problem with that. But it definitely takes away from my day. And considering the fact that we have two people sitting at every table, just grab your camera on your phone and take a picture every couple of rounds of your game, and then just email them to our email address. It would make life way easier on game day, and we'd probably get some better pictures too.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking if each table could be responsible for taking a picture every hour,
yep,
and then sending them consolidated together at the end, so that we know that it's easier to say these 5 pictures are from this match.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Rather than one coming in every hour from everybody is going to be a whole lot of different messages to go through.
Yeah. The podcast editing is actually getting under control with me just kind of paring down a little bit of what I was doing for Uncivil Discourse, because it went from 10 hours of editing down to about 4 or 5. So, and I can do that in an evening or in 2 days quite easily without it taking all of my time. So, yeah, I think we're okay on that regard. I don't know. That's on my level, like the things that I deal with. How about you, Brett? What things do you deal with?
Let's go to Jeff next.
Oh, yeah, Jeff. Does he work? I don't even know if he does anything.
He's kind of our assistant. He's kind of there to break ties. He's mostly there to break ties when you and I don't agree on something.
We always agree, Brett. Come on now.
There's been at least a half a dozen things that I can think of
this year
don't need to be public that we disagreed on.
This year, not even counting the ones from last year. But that's the best thing about it. Our little trifecta of admin. If we don't agree, we can always at least work out some form of a compromise. And then we have Jeff to make sure that we're on the straight and narrow too.
Yeah, that's a full-time job in itself, you know?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Jeff. What is something that you can see somebody to step up and help out that would be productive to make the league run smoother and or contribute in some way? That isn't having them design mechs, because that's something that we like to do because it's part of the joy of running this.
The sheet you suggested actually would make everything just very simple, right? Then you only have 12 sheets to go through instead of, I don't know, 12 times 22.
Yeah.
I think
I was thinking of that today when I was at my 40K match of, it's actually a score sheet. I wonder how I could adjust this to make it for Battletech friendly.
Yeah, I think that would actually make like all the difference, I believe. Would save me going through a whole bunch of sheets, that's for sure.
So we need to call out one of our members and have them create a little score sheet spreadsheet for us?
Or else we just do it ourselves, but yeah, if somebody wants to design something that would work.
Yeah, that'd be helpful. And it's also
I have no problem saying this is good. I would like A, B, and C changed, or I'd like E added.
Yeah. That would definitely help. That right there would cut down on the mass of paper we're working with between games, as well as make things a little bit clearer. Same thing with the submission sheet for possibly the engineering skills, but I think we have to look at that at the end of the season, not now.
Yeah, so. I think those are going to be... I think it's going to be a sacrifice where this year we spent a lot of time trying to cut the package down to a more manageable route. Rather than 70 pages, we tried to get it as close to 60 as possible. I think we're just going to have to suck it up and go back up to be like, these skills are 1 page on its own, or 2 pages, and this is a 3-paragraph description of what we're looking for, what the format is, and what is allowable and what is not, just so that it's like A, B, C, thank you, done, black and white.
And I think it just caused confusion, of especially the people who really like to design mechs, that they couldn't quite understand the reasoning behind the restrictions. And when it comes right down to it, it's because it's a group activity, not just a one-person activity. So we have to try to balance for everybody, not just the people who are good or enjoy creating their own machines.
Yeah, and for the most part, we tried to do that with a BV limit. But then we also realized that there's more than just BV that is a factor in this.
Yeah. So let's see, Brett. We went through me, Jeff. Now you. What do you see as an admin thing that would be helpful?
Somebody keeping track of the time. Somebody that's willing to stand up everybody every hour and make sure that everybody's on track, has a decent amount of turns going, and that they're aware that we're an hour in, we're 2 hours in. Everybody should be roughly at round. So 2 hours in, the first ones go pretty quick. I'd say 4 or 5 turns in round 1 in the first hour, another 3 at least. So by the time we hit like halfway mark, everybody should be able to be hitting like turn 10.
Yeah, though our numbers are going up for the turn count. We were the first couple of weeks there. Some people were playing like 7, and now 7 is like 1 game out of 11, 7 rounds. So it's definitely improving. But yeah, I could definitely see where we would benefit from having somebody who would be willing to stand up and be the loudmouth. And I can think 4 or 5 people who are loudmouths.
To be fair, the game that only went 7 turns is because they were all dead.
Really?
I'm not sure how that even happened.
If that's what happened, well then
Yeah.
that one. What are you gonna do, right?
You can't make a longer game out of something that there's no max to do, man.
Did any of the pilots eject? Because the guys could hunt them down.
You now get an infantry marker on the board.
Yeah, run, Forrest, run. Yeah, that's another good admin assistant. Yeah, and when we were talking about not offering people the ability to help design, I get that where people want to join in and help because it is a lot of fun, but that's not the stuff that we're really looking for help with, right? Like I don't touch the mech designs because I'm not the best mech designer. I can do it okay, but I'm not the best. We kind of mix between Brett and Jeff, and that's kind of all we need when it comes to designing a mech. We do need to bounce ideas off of each other, which is what we do. But yeah, that's why we're not taking really volunteers to help redesign mechs, because that's really not needed.
It would become too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, and then it has to be, they would redesign it and then still have to pass it by us for approval. So that's just an extra step that's not needed. That and when it comes right down to it, it's the tedious stuff we need help with.
Okay. What about in between seasons?
I could use a cook. Oh, you mean for Battletech League?
Yeah, for Battletech League. Is there anything in between seasons?
In between seasons for
the
that.
The big thing that comes to my mind
is a longer season, you know?
The longer season.
Why don't we just run 2 in that case?
Oh, shh.
That's been suggested.
Yeah, it's been suggested, and no, I can't do that. My brain would melt. Actually, you know what would be good? If somebody would help, like we have our out of league games that get kind of organized. Somebody that would help kind of make sure those get organized when they get brought up. Either doing a once a month game, like being the person who organizes a once a month game, or somebody who just helps people get in contact with each other.
And that's exactly where I was going with that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you caught that ball and ran with it. We put in probably on average 12 to 16 hours a week on Battletech during season, not counting game days. So when it's off season, I don't want to be spending 6 hours or 8 hours a week trying to organize games for random people. I'm happy that people have games. I want them to have games. I want to be able to be like, hey, run these 4 mechs against these 4 mechs and tell me how the match went out, because I want to test it out and I don't want to necessarily be there. But I don't necessarily want to be putting in all that time and effort to try and organize things for other people. We're all adults, right?
Yeah, and like what JP and Steven and Galen and Jeff did, what was it, last week? Like a week and a half ago? Great. Awesome. And they brought in league compliant mechs as well, so the guys like Jeff and Galen who don't play are kind of new to league, they get even more experience with playing league tech, at least. That's great. Absolutely incredible. But yeah, the where you can organize it, do it yourself. But if we had somebody that kind of was stepping forward to say, hey, you know what, I'll take care of organizing this, because that would be great. That would be very helpful and give us more time in the off season to be able to do the admin work that we're doing. We up our video count, our podcast during that time as well. So that would be great not to have to worry about organizing games. So yeah, that would be good. That's a really good suggestion.
What about you, Jeff? You got any ideas coming out or anything that you can throw out there for us to talk about next?
No, we've covered quite a few points. Yeah, we haven't rambled nearly as much as we normally do. That's for sure.
All right, on that topic, what do you see as the meta for this season? And to clarify that for people that aren't necessarily 40k players, the meta is essentially what is considered the current time frame of what makes some of the best faction. Games Workshop metas change fairly often. They just released a new faction, the Leagues of Votan, and it was so broken, it was so overpowered that within 2 weeks they had nerfed it into the ground and actually ended up offering refunds for some people that bought the stuff because it was so widely skewed. Basically, a meta is what's powerful and what are people taking and what is doing well this season.
Wait, did 40k not do some proper playtesting or something? Or
Apparently not.
That's hilarious. The current meta. If you ask Lee, it's Gauss rifles.
Is it really though?
I don't think it is. No,
it is.
I think the meta is 2 assault mechs.
I think it's 2 assault mechs this season too. I would have to pull up one of our previous scripts, but I think we said something like out of the 22 teams, 16 or 17 were running double assault.
Yeah, because they can fit more Gauss rifles onto them. Yeah, that's you asked me and I would say, yeah, Gauss rifles, absolutely. Because take a look, how many more Gauss rifles we have this season than we did last season? Because now it's wildly available.
Well, that's just it, though. Is it's with the upgrade in tech, it's actually more common on mechs than it was in previous season.
Okay, so Kondo's Janissaries has 1. Doombuds has 1. Mass Destruction has 0. Donru Tiger Slayers has 0. Blitzkrieg Jezebels has 1, I think, on her Marauder. Yep. Odin Storm Riders has 0. Kel's Keshik has 2. Lords of the Underworld has 1 on the Perseus, maybe? Red Sun's Irregulars has 0. Tin Man's Tin Cans has 0. Thumper's Revenge has 0. Mm-hmm. Eastside Brawlers has 2 on the Nightstar. Vandals has 0. War Club has 2 on the Devastator. Parker's Pathfinders has 2 on the Nightstar. Abishai's has 1 on the Sunder.
No. I'm pretty sure he has 2 on the Sunder.
No, it's a Gauss rifle, ERPPC 3 Streak 4s.
Oh, I thought it was a 2 Gauss rifle.
He took it and he swapped it from the 3 LRM5s to 3 Streak 4s.
Okay, is that then maybe it's the Avatar that's got the dual Gauss? So
the Avatar for Kel's Keshiks.
Yep.
Where was I? There I was. Flying Tigers has 0. Nope. Yeah, 0. Petulant Perry's Periphery Pirates has 3. 2 in the Gunslinger, 1 in the Banshee. Riston's Rogues has 2 on the Cerberus. Fallen Angels has 0. Blood of Bashir has 0. And St. Ives Janissaries has 0. I would say, actually, there are more lances with 0 than all of the other Gauss rifles added together.
Then I must be facing them in my 5 games because I seem to keep running into them.
Yeah, we stacked the deck against you.
I'm the one who did the schedule.
That's your own.
So you stacked the deck against yourself.
Yeah, it's random roll. It's just, it seems like the past 5 games I keep running into them.
If anything, I would say the meta this year is fast-ass jumping pulse boats for the mediums.
Yes, absolutely.
Wraith,
Yep.
Night Sky, Phoenix Hawk 3PL, Phoenix Hawk, another Night Sky.
Does anybody have the Wolverine with the pulse lasers?
There is one Wolverine 7K in Parker's Pathfinders.
Yeah, so I'd actually have to agree. I think the meta for League, actually the thing more so than the 2 assaults, is the really fast medium, especially with the large pulse laser. So, though there's other guys like I think the Dawnru Tiger Slayers, their Cicada does not have a large pulse laser, but was the fastest mech until he slowed it down.
At 7.11.7, it still is.
Yeah.
Although it's matching the rates.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not the fastest mech in League. When it first started off, it was 8.12.8. So, but yeah, I think that's actually even more the meta than the League. But then again, once again, if you take a look a lot of the way the Lances are designed, a lot of people are kind of mimicking what Steven did with his extremely fast Harasser to keep your attention on that instead of the other 3 mechs. But in my opinion, the reason why
only
medium...
Go ahead.
Sorry, what I was saying, this is actually a bit of a comment on some of the response to some of the comments I'd heard as suggestions to League is why we don't allow light mechs. And what I see on that, and part of the reason is because a light mech is all it is a harasser. It doesn't have the firepower usually to be able to be much of a threat. And especially with the tech level that we're using with pulse lasers and all that, normally if they are fast enough to attack, they don't have the weapons, and if they have the weapons to attack, they're going to get eaten up by the large pulse lasers and medium pulse lasers and everything that we're fielding this season. So, to me, the medium mech class, at least, while they do have those faster mechs, can at least have some form of weaponry that make them a threat instead of just an init sync.
Yeah, and see, 13 of the 22 stables have 2 assault mechs.
Yeah.
So 13 stables have double assault, 11 stables have a fast jumping pulse medium, and only 5 stables have double gauze.
Yeah, so the gauze rifle isn't the meta, but it sure seems like it. Though the top 5 teams, what are their gauze rifle complements?
Okay, so the War Club, 2 on the Devastator. Max with Abishai's Avengers has 1.
Okay.
Who are the other ones up top?
Jeff.
Myself with 2.
Yeah. And then we've got the Periphery Pirates.
He has 3 technically because he's got a gunslinger and he put 1 on it. He engineered 1 onto his Banshee.
Yeah. So really the top 4 or 5, all of them have a gauze rifle in their lance. At least 1. So that's a bit of the tail of the tape.
They all have a mech that has double gauze.
Yeah.
Gunslinger, Devastator, Cerberus.
I don't think Max. I thought you said Max only had 1 his entire.
Max only has 1.
Yeah. So he's tied.
But he also has a Clanny or PPC on his Warhammer.
Oh. But that's
so in theory that's 2 head cappers.
Yeah. So that's a bit of a tail of the tape there too. When the top guys are running at least 2 gauze rifles, that shows something about the weapon as well. Right? But still, I think the meta isn't gauze rifles. I think I'll retract that and put it back. It's definitely the assault mechs and the very fast pulse boats.
Almost all of the top are double assaults.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff's got his Banshee, his Cerberus. Petulant Perry's has a Gunslinger, a Banshee. Yeah, Max has an Awesome and a Sunder. Yeah. Calvin in the War Club has a awesome
and a Devastator.
And
he's got the 9. He's got the 4 PPCs.
So does Max.
Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely the double assaults, double gauze rifle. That's a pretty potent force to have to fight against.
So with that in mind, did we maybe boost the BV up too high? Because we were expecting, or should we go back to the format of 2 heavies, an assault, and a medium, and keep the BB where it's at?
I've always liked the 2 heavies, an assault, and the medium.
Yep. Is giving people a free choice of whatever to freeing?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's especially when we've got the higher BV mechs that are coming in. Well, yeah, a lot of people went with two assault mechs. So like maybe we could bring the BV down a bit, but I remember people having a hard time finding many mechs that fit into a reasonable playstyle with that. And if we're planning on going up any further in the timeline and introducing even more specialty tech, I think it's going to make it even harder for people to find machines that are going to fit their style.
Well, I believe our next season is going to be same timeline, 2 clan factions added.
Yep.
I don't anticipate to move the timeline forward any.
Yeah, and we'll
So
have to
maybe
see what
season 4 we will.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. And once again, that's so far in the future. Like the end of the season to me,
That's a year away from now, basically.
Yeah, to me, the end of the season is another century as far as it's feeling right now. Though we're at 5 weeks in, like the 5 game days in, it's actually going pretty quickly.
Hey, it was the turn of the decade when we got season 1 going.
That's true. That's true. So
that's something we might want to reevaluate, is if it's the lance composition.
Yeah, we might. Yeah, that might be something we want to look at as well. See whether or not we want to go back to the assault 2 heavies and a medium. And I don't have anything against that idea. It's a pretty good one, right? Like it worked very well for Stu's League.
Stu's League was also Build-A-Bear usually, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He built,
so you were choosing the chassis, you were choosing the primary weapon, the speed, and the engine type, and it was being custom built for you.
Yep.
I like stock mechs. I like stock mechs because it is a lot more balanced. Yeah, they're not always the most competitive. Look at the Rifleman. But everything has a reason of why it was built the way it was. Whether it was the fluff of, this is an economical mech. It only costs 9 million C-bills, and you're going to be able to actually field 10 of these on a planetary defense.
Yep.
Or you can field 1 Phoenix Hawk.
1 Berserker for an entire battalion of locusts. Yeah.
Now, a Berserker might be able to take a battalion of locusts.
Now, would you refer to those as loci?
They're not all at the same time.
I don't know what a group of... No, it's locusts.
Loci? Locusts.
I think it's locust.
It is, yes.
Locusts. Yeah.
But I put a Berserker against 4 locusts all day long.
Oh, 4, but how about a battalion of them?
Yeah, you get a battalion, you're allowed to field 4 at any given time.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I would say the Berserker's going to win.
No, I think the Berserker's eventually going to fall just from mass fire.
You do 4 charges at once, it can only stop one of them.
True. The other thing about it is it also depends on the locust you use, right? At that point, maybe the one with the LRM5s isn't that bad of an idea because the Berserker's only throwing a ERPPC back at you, right?
Yeah, but it's wrecking a mech with an ERPPC.
Oh, yeah. But a walk for a locust is a +3, right? The odds of hitting drop. Right?
Yes.
It'd go in their favor just for the defense versus attack number. Yeah, that'd be interesting too. But we're actually rambling. There was something that we were talking about when it came to the design. Oh, the BV. I don't think dropping the BV is going to do anything for us as a league. I think the players are going to want to have that options. Oh, that's what it was that you had said a few minutes ago. The stock mechs, I much prefer pulling stock mechs to start with because it's all individual choice. Whether or not we agree with the mech choice or not, giving the players the options of 6 different Marauders or 5 different Wolverines, I like them being able to do that because you take a look. Laura's got a good example. Her Salamander and my Salamander are very close to the same, but also significantly different. So I think it's nice to be able to have those options versus, yeah, it's a Salamander, yeah, it's going to be a missile boat, but in the end, they're probably all going to be the same because the most optimized possible missile boat is this for that tonnage. So, yeah, I think stock mechs and then modifying them a little bit.
Go
ahead.
I'm glad we don't have 7 Wolverines and another 5 Awesomes this year.
Yep. Yeah, well, yeah, this has got so much more options for people.
We still do have quite a few Awesomes, though.
We do, but look how many Devastators we have this season.
And the Awesomes are the same. We only have 1 Devastator this year, whereas we had 3 last year.
I thought we had 2. I keep getting them mixed up with like the Night Star and all that because they're throwing very similar loadouts.
We have 3 Night Stars.
Yep. Which is understandable.
3 or 4 Banshees?
5 Banshees.
5 Banshees, yeah.
Banshees, well, they did so well last season, right? Like they were such a solid performer.
And they're all the Banshee 3S. So they're all the same chassis, they're all the same model because it is so BV efficient for what it brings to the table. That's why a good chunk of the double assault lances are a Banshee 3S and a second one.
Yep.
It's a great mech.
It is. It's a very good mech.
It's super easy to engineer it, right?
Yeah, there's not a lot you got to change to really make that mech stompable.
No, you're basically going, I want to tweak it with this weapon instead. I want to tweak it with this weapon instead.
Yeah.
I think I would kind of like to see a little bit more variety in the medium class, but that's just the way it is this season.
Yeah, it's also people have choices with optimal machines, right? So something that moves 696 or 711 with a large pulse laser, that's going to be a pretty hard one to turn off.
And a pair of
To
medium
say I
pulse.
don't want it. Yeah, exactly. Why wouldn't you take the Wraith or the Night Sky when you're looking at all the rest of the mechs? You're like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. It's 585. That's pretty much the speed of most of the high weapon jumpers for the medium class. But then you look at these other ones like the Cicada and the Wraith and the Night Sky really hauling butt with pulse lasers. Yeah, those are the mechs that are going to get picked. Right? Why would anybody take a Clint? Right? It's a suicide mech for a gladiatorial game.
The Clint is a myth.
It's horrible.
That's good. But yeah, it's those. I think we're going to run into that no matter what we do, because there's certain mechs are optimized for what we're playing, where other mechs are just pretty purely campaign style mechs.
The heavy category had a pretty good variety in it.
Yeah, because
see,
you're right.
I don't mind my Night Sky. I would actually prefer to have a different weapon loadout than the pulses.
So why'd you take Night Sky?
Because it's a great mech going 696.
Yeah,
but I'd rather have something other than pulses on it.
Yeah, let's
because then I might actually hit. Yeah, but -2 doesn't mean shit to me because. Yeah. Oh look, you need 6s, you miss. Oh look, you need 7s, you miss. Oh look, you need 5s. Oh, you only hit with 1.
So it was a personal choice. You just chose the wrong mech.
No, because that was the only Night Sky I had option to choose. So.
Well, the only Night Sky, but there was other mechs in the 50 or the medium weight class you could have chosen.
Not going 696 with decent armor in that.
Okay. Well, you could have got a 585 one.
It's nice to have the extra movement when you want it, though, right? Like, sure. Oh look, I'm 5 hexes away. I really need to jump 6 hexes type deal, right? Like.
Yep.
But I was really looking at that Shadowhawk that was 695 this year.
There's nothing wrong with that Shadowhawk, 695.
695, large laser, 2 medium lasers, and like an SRM4 or something. With a Beagle and an ECM already.
Yeah, oh, wow. A lot of times that 6 jump is not used, where 5 will get you the exact same mods, but it is handy to have that, that extra hex to jump into. Yeah. Plus, I like being able to run 9, which is the nice thing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to jump a little bit further with my Wraith when I finally get it back up to 711.7.
And how do you plan to do that?
Well, we looked at possibly clanning up the large pulse laser into a clan large pulse laser, realized that the extra ton that I gain would have to go to armor because I'm not at the build requirement of 95% armor. So I'm actually going to switch it to a clan ER large laser because that will get me 3 tons. That's enough for the armor and leaves me the half ton for the extra jump jet. At least that's what we discussed.
Take away the large pulse and swap it out for an ER large instead.
Yeah. Now, that being said, you don't have to do that, but it's the most realistic thing to fulfill what I'm looking for. You wouldn't have to do that if you didn't want to, but I would really like it if you did.
And I think it's the only viable way to actually get it to have that 7th jump jet.
Without doing
aside from doing a full engineer skill, which you've already used.
Or downgrade the large pulse laser into something like 2 medium pulse lasers, but
that's just cheesy though.
I want to keep the range. I want the long range firepower, and actually, a clan ER large laser is a phenomenally good weapon.
Like compared to cheesy, but that's probably what I'm going to do with the Night Sky.
Is what, go to the clan large pulse laser?
No, drop the large pulse to 2 medium pulses.
Drop the primary weapon and swap for 2 secondaries instead.
Yeah.
There's been like 3 other people that have done it this season already too.
Yep.
Because again, it gets me an ECM.
Yeah, and it also gives you over 20 points of damage in the same range bracket.
All right. I think that pretty much covers what I've got for ideas for this podcast, because we are just sort of throwing one in because we every second week, right? We got to come up with something.
Yeah, and this one, actually, talking about the mid-season is really good, because really, this is when we've had a really good feel of how the league has gone up to this point. And so far, everything's going really well. No major hiccups, right? Definitely have to look at the engineering skills in the off-season and see what we can do to make them a little bit cleaner and easier to understand. And then it's a matter of riding this out and seeing how everybody does. The players are astoundingly better skilled and tactically minded than they were last year. And that's not insulting last year. It's just I think everybody's kind of gotten the idea of what it is we're looking for as a league players and have run with it.
Yeah, that's the nice part. We got 5 games down. There's only 3 more games where people get to submit skills. And then you get 2 games where you just get to play with what your lance is. And then it's playoffs.
Yeah.
We're through all the difficult part at this point.
Yeah. It's just having fun.
And a lot of people have improved since last year too, right?
Well, that's what I mean. Like the skill level has gone way up.
Everybody just shook the rust off, and
Yeah, we're waiting for Paul to do it. Go, Paul! Come on, get that ring rust off so we can start seeing you get some wins.
Well, Paul is a little bit older, right? So it takes a little bit longer to shake that rust off.
Yeah, true.
We say first season, but
Yeah, usually it takes an entire season, but we'll see how. I think he'll turn it around sooner than that.
All right, Jeff. I think that wraps up everything. Do you have any final statements or questions or anything for the fans?
No, I'm happy things are going so well with the league right now. It's great to see everybody be able to make it out for their games. We've only had to reschedule a couple games so far this season for not being able to play on the league day. So I hope we continue to see that and do that. It's great to see everybody out playing Battletech.
5 days, only 3 days with snacks. We need people to bring more snacks.
Yeah, I just had one of those brownies tonight. Those were great.
I was lucky enough to get one specially made for me because I'm allergic to part of the ingredients.
Yeah, well, man up, dude. Come on.
Oh, yeah. Okay, just roll around on the floor vomiting. It'll be all good. Just eat like everybody else.
Hey, man up. Allergies are for the weak.
I'll go and I'll sit in your van and then I'll eat one.
That's all right. I have my allergies too. I understand. Mine just aren't food related.
All right, Lee, any last final thoughts, comments, concerns?
The main thing is my big thing is everybody keep it up. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep working on your formulas, on figuring out your numbers. Keep figuring out the best way to be more efficient on your gameplay, because everybody's doing great. It's just a matter of also staying focused on what you're there to do and have fun. This is supposed to be a fun game. Nobody should be stressing about win, loss, whatever. You're there to visit with your friends and have a good time.
I can't stress that enough. We're there for a social event that is also attached to a semi-competitive, competitive league. Don't let the little shit bother you.
Yeah.
It's dice. Shit happens, right?
Alrighty, with that, I think that's going to be everything. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in one more time. If you want a more structured Rambletech with a little bit more flow in the topics, please leave comments, give us ideas, give us submissions, and we will be happy to incorporate that into a full show if we can actually get it to go smoothly.
No. If we had a script, it wouldn't be rambling, so it wouldn't be Rambletech. So,
but having topics that we can work with versus just kind of how did it go this way in the season would definitely make it a little bit more structured. And remember, after the show, there's going to be that promo for the giveaway. Like, subscribe, and comment about the show, please. That definitely gives us information on what to do and how to improve, as well as gets your name in for the draw.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks to a very special member of the community who requested to remain nameless, we have some very exciting news today. This community member painted and donated a lance for us to give away as a random prize to one of our subscribers. Let me tell you, these mechs are even more beautiful in hand than they are in these pictures. Painted in a lovely Free Worlds League purple, this lance is League compliant and includes a Phoenix Hawk, a Rifleman, a Warhammer, and an Atlas. Any new or current subscriber in the channel can comment on any of our videos with this spot in it to be entered to the draw. Now, because we're a growing little community with aspirations of grandeur, we will post the mechs to the winner in Western Canada at no cost. If someone in Eastern Canada or out of country wins the draw, we'll be happy to cover the first $20 Canadian for shipping, but ask the winner to cover the balance. A price quote would be gotten beforehand, and we can discuss if the winner wants to get the land shipped or have it passed to a different subscriber instead. Please keep this in mind when entering the draw. Now, for you subscribers, to enter, all you need to do is like our video and comment below. We will do the draw when we hit 150 subscribers. Each video you like and comment on will get you one entry to the draw. Thank you all very much, and we look forward to growing our next subscriber milestone.